Can see that a friendship isn't easy. We can see that a friendship is difficult, and we will tell ourselves all these different reasons why the friendship is difficult, except for admitting that we made the friend during a dark time in our life and we feel emotionally bonded to them, or even sometimes we feel like we owe them something because they were there for us in a darker time in our lives, or vice versa. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bindi, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. Today we're going to be talking about friendship, okay? And not just the wonderful, lovely things that come with friendship, but also the parts of friendship that can hold us back and that can stop us from attracting specific things into our lives. But before we get into all of that, I want to ask, if you have not already, please make sure that you subscribe so that you can be notified when I come out with new videos. Also, if you find this video impactful, please make sure that you share it with someone, because we are here to change the world together. Okay, let's get into it. I'm sure you've heard the saying that you are a reflection of the 5 people that you are closest with, the 5 people that you spend the most time with, and the 5 people that you talk to the most. First reason that I believe that we tend to be most like the people that we spend the most time with is because we have a magnetic belief system. When I was making the outline for this video, I was just like, how can I explain this concept of a magnetic belief system? Because I'm not saying that the friends that we attract, we have identical belief systems. I'm saying that our belief systems attract each other. So I think a good example of this, even though it's a TV show, I think a great example of this would be Kenan and Kel. I used to love that show. Comment down below if you used to love that show as well. I think that the joy of watching Kenan and Kel is that balance, that really grounded balance that those two friends have. You have Kenan, who is very focused, grounded, and then you have Kel, who is very airy and all over the place. And separately, if they do not have time with one another, you can tell through their storylines that they tend to get more and more wrapped up in their own personality traits. For example, Kenan, he can become very serious. I'm really talking about Kenan and Kel right now. Kenan can become very serious, overly opportunistic, and what happens is when he's around Kel, he starts to tap back into life is fun, life is full of joy, we are here to have a good time, even though he doesn't really give Kel all that much credit. And then Kel, on the other hand, is everywhere, and Kenan kind of just brings him back down to reality. So that's what I mean by a magnetic belief system. Separately, the two have their own viewpoints, but when they come together, they complement one another. The second thing that I believe allows people to gravitate towards their best friends or their friend group is similar goals and aspirations. Seeing you have your belief system, and then you also have how you fit into your own belief system. What do you believe that you will accomplish? What do you believe your life will look like? I think that when we have that vision, we tend to attract people with a similar vision. Okay, so before we go any further, I just want to make sure that you are paying attention. For today's video, we are going to recite the affirmation, my loving friends bring out the best in me. Okay, so write that in the comment box below. Say that out loud 3 or 4 times if this is something you need in your life. If you want to see how it would feel in your body to adopt this saying, if you don't feel like you have those types of friends right now, let's do it together. My loving friends bring out the best in me. My loving friends bring out the best in me. Okay, let's get back to the video. Okay, we got to talk about it. We gotta talk about it because we just talked about all the cool stuff in friendship, so we gotta talk about the other stuff. Let's talk about trauma bonding. We gotta talk about it. So trauma bonding is when you go through a traumatic experience with a person, and that experience brings the two of you together. And you know, a lot of us feel like trauma bonding isn't real. We can see that a friendship isn't easy. We can see that a friendship is difficult, and we will tell ourselves all these different reasons why the friendship is difficult, except for admitting that we made the friend during a dark time in our life and we feel emotionally bonded to them, Or even sometimes we feel like we owe them something because they were there for us in a darker time in our lives, or vice versa. The thing about trauma bonding and friendships that are built through trauma is that they are built on a foundation of hard times, not love. And because these friendships are not grounded in love, a lot of times the people participating in these friendships don't necessarily want the best for each other. If you love someone, you want them to experience life in its fullness despite how you feel about whatever they pursue. So if you are scared of your friend getting hurt by someone, you allow them to experience that journey. If you are scared of your friend failing in their career, you allow them to experience that journey. Because if you truly love that person, you understand that you as an individual have your own path to walk and they have theirs. But when we start to get into this controlling mindset, when we start to emotionally make our friends feel guilty, or when friends start to make you feel emotionally guilty, it's very important to step back and look at that control factor. And why is this person trying to control the way the narrative turns out? Friendships built on trauma discourage growth, because a lot of times when people go through trauma and they stay so close, that means that a big part of that trauma is probably still playing in that person's subconscious. So this friendship makes them comfortable. By no means am I saying to cut off or distance yourself from your friends that you had when you went through trauma. That's not what I'm saying at all. You guys know my videos are all about awareness. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my perspective so that you can look at your life from a more honest lens. People choose to stay close because they're comfortable with one another. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that being uncomfortable is a part of the growing process. Being uncomfortable, being in the unknown is the only place where you can experience things that have never happened to you before. When we nurture friendships that don't encourage that growth, yes, we can be very comfortable. Yes, we can always know what to expect. Yes, we can always have someone to call when we want to talk about something that makes us feel right at home. Yes to all those things. But we don't get the growth and we don't get to move forward. And a lot of times one person will start to pursue growth and the other person may be intimidated. So again, there comes that emotional manipulation. Why do you want to do that? Why would you do that? Are you even sure it's worth the time? That sounds really dumb. Or ultimatums. If you have a friend who gives you an ultimatum for a choice that you make in your life, big red flag. I've had friends, I was dating someone I should not have been dating. I see this now in college. And I had a friend who was like, if you're going to be with him, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. And in hindsight, I understand to an extent. I understand, okay, you don't wanna see your friends hurt. I understand that. But there's a difference between creating distance and cutting someone off. Creating distance because you don't want to see someone hurt is one thing. Saying, if you don't stop talking to them, I'm not going to be in your life anymore, is giving an ultimatum and saying, if you don't live your life the way I see it, I'm taking my love away, right? So when you get to that control area, it's very important to analyze is a strong word, so we're not going to say analyze, but it's very important to observe the motives of the friendship, your motives or the friend's motives, whenever these ultimatums come up, because these ultimatums will often show you how strong the friendship actually is. The last thing I want to say about friendships that are built on trauma is that they thrive on the shadow of your belief system. Okay, so friendships that are built on trauma often put a spotlight on all of the things you're trying to hide about yourself. So what I mean by this is, let's say that you are unhappy with your health. You want to stop eating meat, right? You want to become a healthier person. And that's attached to the insecurity of just never really feeling like you take care of yourself. Maybe your friend also never really takes care of themselves. You guys go out to eat everywhere. You guys sit at home instead of, you know, going for a walk, or you guys watch trash TV together instead of feeding your mind. Well, however you want to define it. When you have friendships that are built in trauma, those friendships are going to thrive on the shadow of your belief system. So the more that you are unhealthy, the more that you choose to not take care of yourself, the stronger that friendship is. But when you say, I want to start taking care of myself, I want to get to that next level of my life, that's going to create tension in the friendship, because all of a sudden you're taking control over how your shadow is controlling you, instead of falling into old patterns that this friendship is actually giving more power to. If you have a friendship that was formed through trauma bonding, you do not have to cut that person off. You do not have to say, peace out, you make me unhappy. I think that moving forward, just practice awareness. We're all here to help each other grow and be better. And as somebody who has had social anxiety for the majority of my life, I loved cutting people off and running away. That was my thing for a very long time. But now I know that even though it's more difficult to be patient with a person and to be your authentic self in front of someone who's challenging you, even though I know that that's difficult, that's what we're supposed to do. We're never supposed to turn ourselves down to make another person feel comfortable. So if you have a friendship that only seems to thrive when you're in a bad place, see what happens when you show up the best version of yourself in that friendship, and then just go from there. It's never necessary to just cut people off or just say, I don't want you in my life anymore. But just observe how the friendship develops if you start showing up as the person you always wanted to be inside of that friendship. Okay, now let's talk about friendship and manifestation. So much fun. Your friends are supposed to give you clarity and alignment. When you are hanging out with your friends, notice if you feel confused. Notice if you feel distant and as if you're disassociating. That's another sign of friendships that are created through trauma. But if you are around your friends and all of a sudden you're thinking in a way that makes your body feel good, you're thinking in a way that says, oh wait, all my dreams, all my goals, I can do it. I can run full force towards all the things that I want. If you're around people who make you think in that way, then those are probably friendships that are very, very, very healthy for you. Your friendships should not build you. Your friends aren't telling you who to be and what to do, but your friendship should inspire you so that you feel more in alignment and more confident in yourself to live the life that you want to live. Speaking of inspiration, you should always have friends who are doing better than you, and don't take it personally. You should always have friends who make more money than you. You should always have friends who are further in their career than you are. You should always have friends who have beautiful, healthy, thriving families. You should have friends who are further along in life than you are, because our friends are here to teach us too. And when you are confident enough to have friends who are further along on their path than you are, you're accepting subconsciously that you are just as worthy even though you're not on that path, or even though you're not as far on your path. And believe it or not, even though you feel like somebody is further on their path, that person has just as much to learn from you. They have just as much to gain from your friendship. It is equally yoked. But if you find that when you make friends who are further along in life than you are, or if you perceive it that way, if it makes you nervous, if it makes you insecure, that is immature. That's immaturity. So a part of maturity is recognizing that and learning to be around those people and notice when you become uncomfortable so that you can work through that uncomfortability. Let's talk about the law of attraction really fast. All of our thoughts have a vibrational frequency. So what's going on in our head determines what we attract into our reality, right? So a lot of people think that this has to do with our conscious mind, but it actually has to do with our subconscious mind, our subconscious belief system, what we truly believe about ourselves and about the world that we move through. So all this to say, the last thing I want to say about friendship before we get to how to manifest friendship is you should always be your authentic self around your friends. Always. If you feel like there's any part of you that you have to hide, apologize for, or just not be proud of, you are subconsciously sending a signal to your brain that you are not good enough. Every time you hang out with that person, you are subconsciously telling yourself, I am not good enough, because you're trying to be who they want you to be, not who you want to be. And this is from experience. So in your friendships, you want to make sure that, of course, I'm not saying say everything off the top of your head and, don't practice reading the room. That's not what I'm saying. But be yourself. Don't over police yourself. because you're perfect the way you are. And the only way that you can attract people who align with who you are is by being yourself. I put my hand on my hip because I got into big sister mode. But the only way that you can attract the people that you need to attract to be happiest is by being your true self. And the only way that you can attract the life that you desire for yourself is by believing that you are worthy by being your true self. So how do we manifest friendship? How do we manifest friends that are like everything that we just talked about? We have to make sure that we believe that we are worthy of real friendship. That's it. That's the last thing. Once you take in everything that this video has said and you finalize what you believe friendship to be, what you expect from your friendship, the very last step is making sure that you believe that you are worthy of that friendship. And that means that you are prepared to be vulnerable. You're prepared to get into an argument and still believe that that person loves you. It means that you are ready to share your life with someone, because sharing your life with someone doesn't just happen when you're in a romantic relationship. We share our lives with every person we're in a relationship with. And how much you share your life has to do with that vulnerability. And how vulnerable you are is dependent on how you feel about yourself. Because if you feel like you're a bad person, if you feel like what you have to share is going to make people want to run away from you, you're not going to share. So we want to make sure that we know that no matter how dark our trauma is, no matter what we've been through, no matter the bad things that we've done, the mistakes that we made, we know that we are still worthy of real, true friendship. Making sure that you know that you deserve healthy friendships, free of drama, free of gossip, free of that crab in the bucket mentality. You deserve it. You deserve friendships that don't belong on reality television. You deserve friendships that pour into you, and you deserve people that you can just love without feeling like that love's being shoved back in your face. You deserve all of it. But in order to attract it, you have to believe that you are worthy of it and that you deserve it so much that you do not accept anything less. My loving friends bring out the best in me. My loving friends bring out the best in me. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video because I really enjoyed making it. If you did, give it a thumbs up so other people on the platform know that it is valuable. Also, if you would like to be notified, no, I keep doing this. I've done this like the last 2 videos. If you would like me to expand on anything that I talked about in this video, just let me know down in the comments and I will in a future video. Also, if you would like to be notified when I come out with my next video, please make sure that you subscribe and click that notification bell so that you can be notified and you can become a reality bender yourself. You can join the Bendy Bunch. We're really fun. We are really fun and there's no drama up in here. It's real nice. It's real nice. Okay, I love you and I'll see you next time. Bye.